We send you out today with a conversation I had with 3 people who shared a similar experience on 9/11. 2 of the soldiers actually lent a hand in saving their fellow comrades, while the 3rd historically documented everyone's efforts. Here's what they had to say about that tragic day.
The small plane heading north exploded at the base of the Pentagon.
I'm at National Airport on the parking lot. I heard a huge noise. I looked over in the direction of the Pentagon. There's a huge plume of smoke coming from that area.
We were just watching the news reports, and we were captivated like everyone else in America was that day.
The second plane, as it made the turn, and it plowed into that second building.
We were taken back, we were surprised, we were mortified.
I looked at my boss there and I said, "Hey, sir, doesn't look like that was an accident. That building was attacked."
And we all just looked at each other, and it was like everybody turned away, walked to the phones, and went to call their husbands, wives, brothers, and sisters.
And so I told them that we probably need to go down to the Army Operations Center or to the Director of Military Support, because we figured that the folks in New York would need some help.
I went back to my office, called my wife, who was still unpacking boxes, and I asked her, was she watching the news? And she says, yes. She says, I haven't been watching nothing but.
Actually, I was headed in the direction of where the plane actually came into, but had it not been for a friend of mine, a fellow colleague there, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Yantis at the time, bad knees and all, he ran up and said, "Hey, sir, where are you going?" And I told him where I was going, and he said, "Well, you're going in the wrong direction." And
she was sort of excited. She said, "Do you think anything will happen?" I said, "No, we're safe. I said, we're miles from New York. We're okay."
And I will tell you, it was less than a minute after we got in, that's when the plane hit. And so that's when the day actually started for us.
Instead of people running away from the building, it was like everybody turned towards the building.
You had soldiers, you had civilians, you had others in there who needed help.
Everybody around here was very calm. And I believe it's because of all of our military training.
Nobody was looking to be a hero. Nobody. People were just doing things that they knew were right to do.
I never stopped. From 9:37, once we started, I didn't stop until 7 o'clock that night. It was just like a battlefield. You got injured, you take care of them.
I think me going into work mode, into my second nature and actually doing my job, helped me deal with the situation.
After she came out and started taking pictures, I said, "This is your battle zone. This is your battleground. You got to take the pictures."
Again, the training just kicked in. Saw a shot, I went in and took it. I certainly don't think it was anything glamorous or heroic at all. It's just documenting things that were going on because I saw heroic efforts in front of me.
She was one of the first, if not the first, photographer on the scene.
I took photos of groups of people coming together with litters in hand, ready to, there were groups of people just standing there waiting, saying, "How can we help? What can we do?"
People they were reacting to a situation. And for the most part, they were very successful. The next day, people came back to work.
The smell of the building is an awful burning electrical smell that permeated the building for weeks afterwards. It's the smell of, terror, the smell of disaster. So those little things are permeated in your mind and burned into your memory.
I work down here where almost a point of penetration. So there's never a day that you don't think about September 11th.
I still see the hole in the side of the Pentagon. I still see the flag on the side.
The tour guides bring school groups, Boy Scout troops, all kinds of groups are going down the hall. And
you hear it every day, and you relive live some of it every day.
As you're walking by these people, some of these kids who don't remember that day, you're like, yes, hopefully you will never ever have to live through something like that. But we are not going to fall apart. If we come under attack, we're going to pull together and we're going to be even stronger.
We've got a lot of folks out there, a lot of soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, civilians who are doing a lot of great work out there to make sure something like this never happens again. We should never forget it.